Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I actually been gone for a little bit, been doing some Guardians Frontline, and this one here's a pretty fun game if you haven't played it quite yet. It's kind of like Helldivers, but for VR. The graphics got dumbed down just a little bit here. This is a pretty simple map somebody made. This is a pretty cool one. It's all community made maps where people can go ahead and make things and be able to have it. So you always have this new line of maps and updates coming through basically. But what I wanted to go through is get to show you something called a wall defense. This is kind of a little strategy I use, not a lot of people think about, is using this little wall right here, which is like one of the cheapest things, but this can be crucial on like success if you have a really tough map you're struggling with. When you are making these, think about the layout of the map you're dealing with. And there's two types of wall defenses you can use, which would work great on this particular style of map. Where the first one I would say is where you have multiple entrances coming into a base. So if you have that, you are able to block off like two of the entrances, for example, and that will force all of them to come to one side over here. And I got a little bit of a head start here. In this particular one, there's an entrance on this side here and this side here where they're trying to go back into our base here. And this is a defense one, so it makes it easy to set stuff up first. So what I did is I put a wall up here for an example where they can come in through here. Well, where they can't come in through here. They would have been able to come through here. But when I put up the wall right here, it'll cut off their waypoints so they are no longer thinking about coming through this particular one. And you have to use your body to like test and make sure you're not able to walk through here. And if you can't walk through here, you've successfully done it. So what I've did is made an actual part here where this will bottleneck them all into this area here where my guns are. I kind of did it in here instead of on the outside because scorpions are able to hit the walls on the outside if they like walk by and get close enough. But if you do it in here, scorpions are not able to knock out our defenses here, and they will be able to just walk right in and get annihilated from here. Now, I'll go ahead and show you the example of this is the first strategy you can use for wall defense, where you can just herd them all into a certain spot, and that will bottleneck them all into an area where you were able to knock them out. So let's go ahead and start this out, and I'll show you kind of what we're talking about. I try not to go around too fast because I'll make you all sick with how fast I move sometimes. Alright, so we got the dragons coming around here, we got this corruptor over here. Now what they're all going to end up doing, see, normally if that wall wasn't on this side over here, this spawn point they're going on up here would come down through here, and then they would end up going through the entrance. But they don't know any better, so everything's going to go to this side over here because that's where the waypoints are having them lead to right now. Now, some of the flying units you have to watch for. Sometimes they'll try to glitch through the walls and such, which doesn't work very well sometimes.
Our forces are under.
Sometimes you want to like set up your guns and being able to make sure that you put machine guns on your cannons and stuff like that. Otherwise, they might get a little too close. But this is one way where you can bottleneck them all. What you can see works pretty well. We can even go through, we can upgrade our guns here, make them all machine guns where they do more damage. We've got this dragon trying to fly in here. But that's basically the concept of the first win, the first strategy of wall defense, is pushing them all to one particular side here. The other strategy is, say for an example, you have one entrance into the base, where this one has like both sets. You have multiples, or you have a single one where it's going right down the center here basically. It's an interesting spot for that. But if you actually take it where the one entrance they have going to the base right here, and you cut that off, that will change the entire dynamic of the game where they have 0 waypoints. Like right now they can come through that one wall, that's the waypoint we gave them using that. But in this particular one, if we cut off the main entrance to the base itself, let's see if we can do this right the first time. We might just cut it out a little bit this way, so that it can kind of connect into this wall over here. Now this way, you won't be able to actually walk through it if you have it going on this way. So what that did is the main route to our base cut off the waypoint that they would end up taking to get to the base. So what that will do is reroute all the bugs to the closest point they can to the base without actually being able to get to the base, which would be back here behind the wall. Since my wall that I built is further away than the closest physical spot they can get to the wall, then they're going to end up just going straight back here is where they're going to end up going now. And that's kind of one way to control it. So now, say if you wanted to, you could put some guns up around this area here, being able to block them off or whatever. Or you can go back here, you can check them, take them out, however you want to do it. Works differently on all sorts of maps, but as long as the wall is further than the closest point they can get to the base, then it'll be fine. But like, for example, if you ended up like making a base right here and there was a wall you built right here with their spawn point here, and that was just the direct route to it, they would destroy it. But since it's offset a little bit from where their spawn point directly is, like if their spawn point was up right here, for example, then they would go straight through and they would wreck the wall, typically. So you want to kind of be cautious of how you're doing that. But that is just kind of two examples I wanted to show of the wall defense, is where you can have the first one where you can block off multiple entrances, have them bottleneck into a certain spot, or if you cut it off completely, then they will end up just going to the closest physical spot they can get to the base without actually getting to the base. If you at least have like a barrier or something like that that they cannot break through. Sometimes you got to watch these flying guys. Sometimes they do glitch through here, and since they can't get to it, they're just going to suicide themselves right here, since they can't get to that base right there. Alright, I mean, if any questions, let me know here. I hope this really helps, and thank you for checking it out, and I will catch you around.